This is not just a Ted Lasso channel, but the content just keeps rolling in. This time, I want to look at the season 3, episode 6 episode Sunflowers. The episode deals with Ted and the team being out of sorts after a losing streak. They've played a friendly match against Ajax and lost horribly. In the episode, after taking some kind of hallucinogenic, Ted wanders into a Van Gogh gallery. As he is staring at Van Gogh's sunflowers, a docent gives a speech.
One doesn't expect to get from life what one has already learned it cannot give. Rather, one begins to see that life is a kind of sowing time. And the harvest is not yet here. He was just a humble preacher's son. And yes, he had his demons, but they never stopped him from searching for beauty. Because when you find beauty, you find inspiration. If, that is, you stay as determined as Vincent. Never stop, no matter how many failures. When you know you're doing what you're meant to do, you have to try.
This reminded me of another important television episode, this time from Doctor Who. Aptly called Vincent and the Doctor, the painter helps fight an invisible monster that only he can see. It's clearly a metaphor for grief and depression, though Van Gogh has those conditions without the alien menace's added presence. He explains that,
It seems to me there's so much more to the world than the average eye is allowed to see. I believe if you look hard, there are more wonders in this universe than you could ever have dreamed of.
seeing the unseen is both a burden and a joy. Ted Lasso is, in Sunflowers, also trying to find something unseen. He's trying to work out a strategy for his losing football team, which has been on a downward slump as of recent episodes. Structurally, this is sound writing because we don't really enjoy stories that show someone winning over and over and over and over again. We prefer people who are placed in worse and worse and worse circumstances until finally they overcome the odds. Of course, some people never do, and that is fine too. Vincent van Gogh did succumb, but he left behind a life where he tried to show the beauty within the darkness.
To me, Van Gogh is the finest painter of them all. Certainly the most popular great painter of all time. The most beloved. His command of color, the most magnificent. He transformed the pain of his tormented life into ecstatic beauty. Pain is easy to portray, but to use your passion and pain to portray the ecstasy and joy and magnificence of our world, no one had ever done it before. Perhaps no one ever will again. To my mind, that strange, wild man who roamed the fields of Provence was not only the world's greatest artist, but also one of the greatest men who ever lived. Vincent.
You knew I had to use that whole clip. It's like contractually required of every Doctor Who fan. When we are at our darkest, that's the time when we find beauty. That's the time when we find inspiration. But we are not to wallow in the darkness. We are to overcome our struggles rather than try to romanticize them. Everyone struggles. Everyone is lost in the dark. But we can stay inspired. We can see a way forward. This is a reminder. Just like Andrew WK's Music is Worth Living For is a reminder. He says,
Our ultimate quest is not to destroy the shadows or our demons, but to learn to hold hands with that side of life, to party with our demons.
But I kept you purified. Whoa, the devil's on your side.
it may seem a simplistic view of the world, but dancing with the darkness within us is deeply complex. Far easier to reduce the content to simple positivity. But what is made clear here is how not simple this is. Everyone has the ability to choose to search for a way to make it better, to try and push light into an overcast world of darkness. Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf. Whether we succeed or fail, the attempt is what matters. Or to put it another way that I got way too excited when I arrived at, there is no binary between the darkness and the light. Our experience of life is multitudinous and non-binary. If only there were some kind of symbol to represent this. Ah, there it is. These three pieces of pop culture are a reminder of what truly matters in life. There is one obligation we have, which is found in the logo of this channel. I'm pretty fucking clever.